Oh snap, it's the PAWGcast podcast. Hello everybody, I'm Mike James. You can call me MJ if you'd like. Welcome to the first episode. It's just me today, though I will be eventually getting some people that I'm going to be doing little interviews with, little sit-downs with, mostly friends and family, but maybe I'll eventually meet some more people who can come out and do my podcast, who knows. I'm starting this up as just kind of something for, really kind of something for what I look for in a podcast, something that's, fun, something you can kind of listen to throughout the day, and, just kind of, have maybe as background noise, or, you can listen to it super actively, whatever you're into. But I wanted to take this first podcast to just kind of introduce myself. I listen to a lot of podcasts, and the podcasts I listen to have, comedians, musicians, actors who, I've gotten to know, more about them, but, who I generally knew about, Joe Rogan, for instance, the Your Mom's House podcast. These are all things that I follow and that I really enjoy, so I know about them fairly intimately, but, I'm just some guy, basically, and so I figured I'd take a little bit of time to kind of, introduce myself, to tell everybody a little bit about me and my story and how I've gotten here. So, I'm hoping that this could be a fun experience. I want to make it a pretty regular thing. Maybe, I don't know, twice a month I'll be releasing episodes at first, and as I start kind of logging more episodes, I'll start releasing them a little bit more regularly. At least that's the plan. But there's no place to go from here but up, and you got to start somewhere. So, like I said, I figured I'd just let y'all know about myself. So, like I said, my name is Mike James. You can call me MJ if you like. That's what everybody in my life pretty much calls me. People who know me pretty intimately just refer to me as MJ. I live in Austin, Texas, and I've lived a few different areas. I was actually born in Pennsylvania, over in Harrisburg. I've lived in Florida a few different times, and I'll be telling a bunch of different stories about my experiences in Florida as well as here in Texas. But I mean, for the most part, I've been in Central Texas for the past, 16 years, 14 or 15, maybe 16 years. Moved all over the place for jobs, for family. But yeah, grew up here in Austin. Actually, really up in Georgetown is where I went to school. And like I said, I've moved around, moved out to Florida. My family moved out to Sarasota when I was younger. I moved out with them again to Pensacola when I was just a little bit older. I was in my late teens, I think. And then I actually moved myself out to Miami, I think when I was 21 for a job. But for whatever reason, I always ended up finding myself back here in Texas. Like I said, I enjoy listening to podcasts. During the day, I do actually pest control. I drive around quite a bit, so I have a lot of free time. I can just plug in headphones and just stream podcasts all the time. I love stand-up comedy podcasts. Those are some of my probably most actively listened to. Like I said, I listen to Your Mom's House podcast, After Dark with Dr. Drew, and didn't really start getting into listening to podcasts truthfully until, maybe about 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half, I guess. Just started kind of losing my ability to find music that, wasn't really, I guess, new to me. You always kind of, find yourself in a certain lane, whatever you're feeling at that time, and I felt like I just wasn't able to find music that I enjoyed listening to anymore. It got tiring, got old. I started listening to podcasts. As far as this podcast is concerned, I've been thinking about doing a podcast for a while. Wasn't really sure exactly where to start, so I just started kind of doing a little bit of research online. Started finding some programs that would help me to record the podcast as well as, to help edit it. Started really kind of accumulating equipment for it. Things that I never really thought that I'd have. I mean, I've got a few microphones now. I've got a webcam which I'm going to get set up so that I can start maybe doing some like live streaming stuff. I don't play video games, but I figured if I could maybe have some video associated with the podcast, that'll come eventually. I've got a ring light, which I never ever thought that I'd own a ring light. It's super practical for a bunch of different things, I guess. Living in Austin, there's a bunch of things that I enjoy doing. Mainly a golfer, which is I think on paper it's super boring, but man, I've had a bunch of crazy experience. I think I'm probably an atypical golfer, in the sense that I have always, I don't know, I've always made it more fun for myself than it probably needs to be. I'm okay, I'm a pretty decent golfer, but my big thing that I've enjoyed doing, not really so much lately, albeit with work and the pandemic, I haven't been out on the golf course that much, but I have so many memories of going out on the golf course, having a few drinks, smoking a little bit of bud. that was kind of the big thing. I did mushrooms on the golf course. That was awesome because I found out that I'm actually really good, really good whenever I'm doing that. But I was on the high school golf team, and probably wasn't the best influence for my fellow golf teammates. Back in high school, I was definitely a stoner, for sure. I don't want to say that everything that I did I was smoking weed with, but definitely golf tournaments. I remember there were plenty of mornings where I'd meet up with my teammates, and this would be before we'd go to the school to get on the bus to go to the tournaments. We would meet up and just get super, super lit and go out and win. We're goofing off, but we're actually semi-focused, I guess, in terms of our competitiveness and wanting to come out of every tournament with a W. I know we won districts and went to the regionals at one point, so if that's any indication of how decent I guess we were, then whatever. It's something to say. But yeah, I mean, I enjoy golfing. I enjoy going outside. Disc golf, that's pretty fun too. That's something that you can kind of do all those same activities with, and you can go out and meet new people, bring new people out onto the golf course or the disc golf course, whatever. But yeah, it's a fun activity. I'm always outside, I guess. I've got a daughter as well, a 5-year-old daughter now, which I'm oh my gosh, I'm 28. Wow, I don't know where the time goes. Yeah, so I'm 28. I've got a 5-year-old daughter, and I will definitely be talking about her all the time because she is the best thing that's ever happened to me. She's so silly, and I'm definitely going to become a lot more silly throughout this podcast. I think there's a certain level of comfort that I'm going to get to when it comes to recording. I think right now I'm really excited about the idea of just recording, and you get that kind of nervous energy going into it. But I'm going to definitely be opening up more over the next few episodes, and gosh, I'm so excited to see where it goes. But yeah, my daughter's got a very similar personality to me, very outgoing, very, oh my gosh, so silly. And like I said, the best thing that's ever happened to me. We the last time that she was down here, because her mom and I split time, which is another thing I'm sure I'm probably going to talk about eventually. Last time that she was down here, we went to Urban Air Trampoline Park, and oh my gosh, it's so much fun jumping on trampolines with that girl. She's the silliest thing ever. And one thing I never really thought of when it came to having kids is how much they will inspire you to open up and to basically, kind of reuse your imagination. I felt like my imagination probably before her had kind of gone away, as it does when you grow up. But having a little girl, I'm sure probably the same goes with having a little boy. But having her, I've definitely needed to use my imagination a lot more than I thought I'd need to, especially when we're playing dolls or any of her toys. It's all about imagining, and I love it. It's the best thing ever. I think eventually I'd like to have her on here. I don't know how well it's going to work out with her being 5, but whatever. It might work out. She's smart. She might be able to figure out conversating on here. She might be able to hold her attention for a few minutes. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, so I've got a 5-year-old daughter, always going out and doing things. I think that's kind of my big emphasis lately, is just going out and getting outside. I know with the pandemic that's been going on, because this is 2020, it's the end of 2020 now. I'm recording this just after Christmas. It's been interesting, I'm sure, for a lot of people. I haven't really. I guess you could say I've been affected by it, but not like dramatically or anything. I think my habits have changed a little bit. I know, speaking for the year, I've actually been able to get myself into much better shape than I was. The end of last year, I was pushing 210 pounds, and not a healthy 210. Started just right around March time. Started meal prepping. Just things that would make it easier to not go to fast food restaurants all the time. I mean, like I said, I do pest control, and that involves just a lot of driving around. So I've got a cooler in my truck. I've got a portable stove. I've got the ability to play music, whenever I'm out, play my podcast and stuff. But my truck is almost set up kind of like an apartment, quite frankly. It's got really almost everything that you need other than like a bed. But yeah, I've got the portable stove, which makes it great so that I can make up things like chicken fajita tacos or little egg muffins or breakfast tacos or whatever. Freeze them up, and then heat them up in my little portable stove when I'm on my way out to a job. Because I say I live in Austin. Really, I live down south of Austin, about 30 minutes, and that gives me about 35 minutes to get everything heated up in the stove, and most of the time that's plenty of time. Sometimes I'll leave the truck on a little bit longer so I can get them just constantly cooking. The chicken fajita tacos take a little bit longer, but anyway, yeah, I've been meal prepping a lot, and so with having a semi-active job, not a strenuous job, just active, I guess, I've been able to get myself in better shape. Right now, if I'm going to be completely frank and honest, I'm living with my parents. I'm going to be moving out in March, maybe April at the latest. I'm going to be buying myself a house, but living with them has afforded me the opportunity to, have security in my home life. I don't have to worry about not making rent during this time. And while I haven't stopped working, as pest control is deemed a essential business, I've just been able to create a little bit of a safety cushion for myself, which is nice. But there's the whole thing about living with your parents, so I'm definitely excited about the opportunity of getting out. But I've been doing that, been going outside as much as I can, kind of hinting back to what I was saying earlier, trying to just not stay inside all the time. I think it's real easy to be inside and be on the computer or watch TV. I mean, I know TV's my big vice, especially when you've got a really comfy bed. You just lay down and watch some shows, and you end up falling asleep, and then the entire day's gone. But I've been trying to be out as much as I can, and I've noticed definite changes in myself. I'm feeling a lot more motivated to be active. I'm feeling a lot more energetic, which, oh my gosh, I can't even tell you how happy I am to have that in terms of my daughter, because like I said, I'm 28, she's 5, so she was born, I was 23, 23 at the time, and I thought it was, I wasn't ready for it. I'm not gonna say it was like the end of the world. It was definitely the end of my world at that time, but it was, it needed to, I was doing a lot of partying, a lot of just going out and goofing off with a bunch of friends that I have, and I thought of it as something that I wasn't necessarily ready for, but I'm glad that I had her when we were young, because it's made it a little bit easier to keep up with her. Kids take so much time and energy, and if you're not a parent, you'll understand eventually. It's I'm glad that I'm getting in shape now, because if I was a older parent, it would just be exhausting trying to summon the energy to keep up with kids. They really are. They can be very demanding at times, but sometimes sometimes it's a lot easier. Sometimes kids want to just hang out, but like I said, it's good for me to feel better now, because as my daughter gets older, I don't want to be kind of a unenergetic dad. I think about a Louis C.K. joke talking about how it's terrible that he has kids now that he's older, because there's a lot of